What's up, everybody? Remember me talking about adrenochrome? Basically, it's adrenaline, and it comes from a human that is in fear. Like, basically, they take people, make sure that their adrenaline gland is activated before they take their life. So the body can make that chemical and they can take it. Yeah, that's why they're so obsessed with the pineal gland. A lot of this stuff that we take, a lot of science says that we already have those, narcotics in our system, and that taking certain plants or whatnot releases it. Basically opens the floodgate and lets it out in ways that the body does not allow. So basically, it's numbing. I would think of it as basically that door so that it can always stay open. And that's why doing it so much starts to destroy that door. Because basically, your body is going to ideally try to slam that door. And you keep adding a substance in that keeps kicking the door open. Eventually, that door is going to be destroyed and not even be there. Or it's going to feel like that blocker isn't there anymore. So basically, it's destroying your body. Kind of like when you smoke. I'm a smoker. It relaxes the muscles in your throat. That's why you end up with a lot more heartburn and whatnot because the smoke and the stuff like that, they say, starts to relax the throat muscles. I enjoy being a little bit of a rebel, so I like smoking. That's all that is. Yeah, what's really, really crazy is everything going on matches Revelations and the Bible to the T. Uh, the bad bloodline in the world is Cain, and the good bloodline in the world is Abel and Adam. Yeah, that bad bloodline came from the devil. And if you all don't understand, the tree of knowledge that the Bible story talks about was look what happens anytime two humans decide to do that. They come into another level of knowledge. And look at that knowledge, what it can do. It can create life or it can destroy it, right? Which is what God said. You will surely die. Maybe that's the knowledge or the reason why it's called, the tree of knowledge and the forbidden knowledge is because it would corrupt the world into sexual deviancies. Right. Adam and Eve could walk around naked and nobody knew or cared because it was considered normal. After the devil and Eve cheated and went against Adam, Eve knew what those body parts were for. Before, they didn't. That's where perversions came into the world. My son Kyle had a bruise on his head and his heel. The Bible says, I will bruise thy head and thy heel. Jezebels, the children that they have, will have problems or be taken off this planet. Yeah, that means Tiffany was exactly what I thought she was, a Jezebel. It's not my fault she was raised to be that way, and that she didn't use her free will to choose not to be that person. She chose to be that person because she's seen that it was beneficial, and that's what she chose to be. Just like Jen, Bethany, and some other females in the world. And yeah, small little things like this will show you if you pay attention. You have to pay attention. If you didn't see it with your own two eyes, be very, very skeptical, even if it's a woman. Women are very, very good at manipulating because of that reason. And I don't know why people choose to believe them. They are. Women are believed quicker than anybody. With no facts, nothing, they are believed. This is how so much stuff gets so ruined. And you find out years later that that woman was the problem the whole time. That's why the one football player lost his 25 years of his life, all because supposedly the story from the girl was is that she was jealous of this guy's sister's dress over a dress that supposedly this guy's sister wore and this girl seen it. Supposedly that was the story why she lied and got this guy in trouble. Yeah, that makes no sense, does it? Okay, so you're jealous of this girl that has a dress that you like. So you're going to put sexual allegations against her brother because you're jealous because she has a dress that you like. Yes, I understand there is mental illnesses that will cause this way of thinking. So yeah, it's possible. But the story just that's the probability of that happening. Well, I before it used to be, you know, far and in between. Now you have a lot of more mentally unstable people. So the percentage of the likeliness of that is most likely more. Yeah, I'm not behind a, you know, team that is doing that experiment, but I guarantee you that's exactly how it would work because you can see it, you have more people becoming mentally unstable. And yeah, I believe uh, social media was a part of it. Social media starts making people think of more of themselves. So this is why a lot of people have been, you know, exhibiting more narcissistic tendencies because it's all about you, your followers, your channel, your this, your that. Just like your home that you buy, the same thing. That turns you into a narcissist too. Your car, your clothes, your this, your that. Now, yes, you do have to be protective over certain things to a certain extent, yes, but people are overboard about it. There's people shooting people for stepping on a shoe on accident. Not somebody coming over and saying, "Oh, you like to keep your shoes clean? Here, let me mark them up," on purpose. Now that, yeah, fight. They deliberately did that just to be ignorant to you. But somebody around a whole bunch of people, like New York, this or that, there's tons of people. Why are you wearing shoes that might get fucked up? Even if, you're not planning on being around that many people and you decide to look good that night, you take a risk. I mean, they're shoes, they're on your feet. I mean, yeah, they sell products to where you don't put creases in your shoes now. Really? If that ain't being overly material, shoes are meant to get destroyed. That's why they go on your feet. Lord. Oh, my Air Jordans. Oh, yeah, you better not mess with my Air Jordans. Oh, you better not mess with my Yeezys. Like, get the out of here. Think about that, people. You're paying thousands of dollars for something that goes on your feet that is called a Yeezy. A Yeezy. Uh, What the fuck is a Yeezy? That sounds like a drunk person trying to say easy. Yeah, Yeezy. Oh shit, I messed it up. This world makes no goddamn sense. No, that is not taking the Lord's name in vain because that's not his name. That's what we earthlings call them. And that was brought on by the people calling the Greek gods God. That was our earthly name for our creator and them. Anybody that we felt was better than us. They were either goddesses, godly, or gods. And that's not true. That was the fallen angels that brought all this metallurgy and indoor plumbing, electric. Yes, you brought all the Greek gods into your home. Your home is basically a symbol of all the Greek gods. Yep, yep. Read Revelations. It tells you the whore that sits on many waters and perverted people with her fine linens, her perfumes, her blah, blah, blah. And who does that? Who is the biggest import and export? The United States. Why is she considered the whore? Because of Lady Liberty. Everybody thought that that meant liberty from the royals. No, that's what they wanted you to think it meant, but that's not what it meant. Statue of Liberty tells you a lot if you really look at it. It is Ishtar setting fire to the heavens, liberating us from God and his 10 laws. Why do you think the United States government tried to act like "In God We Trust" and we're going to base the Constitution off of the Ten Commandments, but we're going to change it? They decide who is wrong and right. They decide who owes money and who doesn't. They decide where you're going to live and where you're not. They decide how much water, how good the water or food that you're going to have is. Yeah, they are the Antichrist system that the Bible speaks of. The government and this way of life that we have accepted when we were supposed to be cursed because of what Adam did with Eve. Even though Adam was tricked, it was Eve the whole time. She was the first person ever possessed. Females, yes, that's why they're easier to do that too. Well, they are more emotional. So everybody knows the more emotional you are, the easier people can get to you.